Afternoon, I think it is afternoon. Yes, indeed. Today there's no rehearsal. There is nothing that I've planned because the topic that I'm focusing on today is vulnerability, being vulnerable. Most people don't know how to do that or are afraid to do that because it exposes your flaws. It shines light of, or rather on, what you're not so proud of, what you wouldn't share openly with people that you don't really trust. So, and that's part of the chapters in the book, my book, The Work of Wisdom. And that's what I do today because if you're like me, I prefer structure. I like structure, I like planning, I like control. But in life, you don't always get to plan and control everything down to the detail. And sometimes that throws you off course. Sometimes it can be frustrating. It can make you feel miserable. And it can even make you feel like you've failed. It's not always easy to navigate that process or that part of your life. Some of us hate to admit that it's difficult. But if you never open yourself up, if you're never vulnerable, how do you get to be your true self? How do you get to overcome whatever stories you've been telling yourself or whatever experiences that you've lived through that you are ashamed of, sometimes guilty, and sometimes it's like whooping yourself constantly because you think that if I beat myself up all the time and this is mentally and emotionally, it will go away. It will make things easier. But being vulnerable means taking off that mask. It is hard to be yourself in a world that has all these standards and measures and societal ways of how you should be, how you should show up, how you should dress up. So that's what I'm going to touch on today. And as you can see, this is not my usual look on my podcast. I'm always all dolled up, well put together, have a structure. So today, this is me being vulnerable. I don't know what I don't know. This is my first time going live on Facebook. It's my first time not being in my fullest form, the way I like to show up for the world. But this is me. This is how I'm showing up in my true form, in my true self. Because I no longer have to put up a performance. I no longer have to show up as well put together all the time. I finally allowed myself to feel. Where once it used to be, there is no time for feelings and emotions. It's like a switch. You have to put off the feelings and emotions. There's no time for that. There are work commitments. There are house commitments. There are bill commitments. Everything else takes preference over you, me, being real. So, in light of things, you don't always have to be put together. You don't always have to show up as how other people want you to be or want you to seem. You have your days where you hit the ground running, and then you have your days where it just feels like you got slapped bang into the ground. And you've got to pick yourself up because no one's going to pick yourself up. No one's going to pick you up for you. You got to do it for yourself. And that's something that I realized through this journey that I've been on. Not the journey, but becoming. The transformation. Looking within. Because so many times we go looking for, and there's nothing wrong with it. We look for improvements, how to improve my speech, how to improve my mindset, how to improve, how do I deliver presentations, how do I improve my cooking skills, or how do I just improve my body? But so little times we look inward and ask ourselves, how do I improve how I show up for me? What lies deep within that needs work, that doesn't need change, but needs me to be present, needs me to show up? And that's when we become vulnerable and we choose safe spaces. And I know for me, I don't trust a lot. I don't trust easily because I overthink. And when we overthink, it becomes kind of a limitation because in your head, you're always running through, when I open up, is this person going to judge me? Are they going to hold it against me? Are they going to throw it in my face later on? Will this be me failing? Will this be me showing my weakness? And then we close. We don't speak. We don't show emotion at all. Yet, there's so much that lies inside that's untold, that's unfelt, because it can wait. How long are you going to wait? So I just want to read just a little paragraph, something that I wrote that I felt necessary because we go through life, some mask, some performance at a time, some I'm fine. You know that when everybody asks you, how are you doing today? Oh, I'm fine. I'm good, thank you. Are you really fine? I used to put up that show so many times. I'm fine. When I know I just sat in my car trying to calm down my anxiety because I don't know how I'm going to face the day. And yet I get out, I pull myself together, straighten out my shoulders, lift my head up high, and waltz in. So nobody can see what I'm hiding. Because I never knew what a safe space was. I never knew that I could trust people. I believed that people had to prove that I could trust them before I would open up. So there's many versions of ourselves that we show to many different people. Some never really get to know the real true you unless, and it's two-way street. People that are in your circle, people that stay, people that want to know what's happening beneath the surface. They stay. They get to know you. And I always say, let me paint a canvas for myself. I don't go after hearsay. If you tell me, oh, that person loves to gossip, oh, that person is like this or like that, I believe everybody deserves a fair chance because in my line of belief in the work that I do as a coach, for me, there's always something beneath the surface. What made them to be like that? What curveballs did life throw at them? You can't tell me a person is born that way because I believe everyone can change if they want to. But so many of us go through life pretending because it's easier. And I know, I've been there. It's so much easier to put on this persona. But when the real people, your tribe sticks around and gets to know the real you can shed and take off those layers. You don't have to perform. You don't have to show up as a well put together person. You can be your inner being, that person on the inside that's too afraid to speak up, that's too afraid to cry, that's too afraid to even get angry because I have to be a certain way. No, you don't. And I've learned that feeling every single emotion and understanding it is what makes me me, and it's what makes you you. You can't only feel the happy feelings. You can't only go to the celebrations of life. You have to go through each and every emotion. That is where the real transformation starts. So I'll read to you just entering vulnerability. Vulnerability is often one of the last places we are willing to go. Not because we do not value honesty, but because we have learned slowly and repeatedly that openness can be risky. Many of us were taught early on that strength meant coping alone, that needing help was something to outgrow, that softness had to be hidden if we wanted to be taken seriously, respected, or safe. Now, that's how many of us grew up. When we're in the workplace, we don't want to show emotion because, as a woman, as a female, it's constantly thrown in your face that, oh, here comes the emotional roller coaster again. We are meant to be nurturers. That's how God created us. We nurture, we share emotion, so we do make people feel safe. We do let them know that we're being honest. We're human after all. But, and I personally found that crying in the workplace or showing anger, number one, crying, you're weak. Number two, if you're angry, or you're an alpha female, you're out of control. And when you're in a circle, it's with you, it's okay. When you're in your safe space with the people you love and trust, it's okay. So there's different settings, different places where we show vulnerability because it's allowed and it makes you feel safe. You can't show it everywhere because the world perceives it as something else, whether it's weakness, whether it's poor management of emotions, I've heard and I've been told, or whether it's get yourself together. This is not the place or the time. There is a place, there is a time. Don't shut it down or shut it out. Feel it, go through it. If it means crying, cry. If it means screaming, scream. But let it out. Because over time, you build resentment towards yourself and others. Because the more you can't be vulnerable, the more you hide and it piles up. And that I'm fine turns into, I want to punch you in the face. Like really punch you in the face. Because you don't have an outlet. So today I want to encourage you. Find your tribe. And if you don't have a best friend or a therapist or someone that makes you feel safe enough to be you, find solace in God. He can be your best friend. He's been my best friend, my anchor, my help through all the years that I've known myself. And he'll direct you to the right people that will respect you, that will allow you to be you, just as you are. No show. So I'll leave you with this. If you recognize yourself here, where you had to learn how to manage your emotions, you may have learned to manage quietly, to carry your questions privately, to solve problems without asking, to present competence, even when you are unsure, tired, or afraid. Vulnerability can feel like exposure rather than connection. It stirs old beliefs that stay. If you show too much, you will be judged. If you ask for help, you will disappoint. If you admit you do not know, you will lose your place. So let me tell you, this is false beliefs. You've been conditioned that this is what it means to be vulnerable. And it's not true. It's really not true. And I'll read another passage that I just want to encourage you and know that there's nothing wrong. It's actually allowed. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to feel those emotions that sometimes you can't explain. Sometimes they don't have a name. Sometimes you don't even know where and how to place them, but you feel them. Feel them. Really feel them. So tell vulnerability, you are no longer banished. You are welcome here, not as exposure, but as truth, not as collapse, but as connection. Because once we connect with ourselves openly and honestly, no matter how messy it gets, and trust me, it gets messy. For me, feeling vulnerable, not knowing how to process feelings and emotions resulted in warm cup of tea, my favorite brand, Rooibos. Not only is it soothing, but every sip I take in pain, but I release with gratitude, with not understanding, with patience, with humility, with kindness to myself. I don't know, but this is my calming tea. This is what makes me me. And sometimes we have a favorite garment. And I know when I'm sitting, I usually wrap myself in front of the telly. And this is my favorite blankie. Why? It's my safe space where I can let go. It's my safe space that keeps me warm. And when I say warm, I don't mean physically warm, but it keeps my emotions warm, wrapped, knowing that I'm going through this for the first time. I don't know what to expect. I know I feel like I'm completely naked, but I know I'm covered. I know I'm clothed. And I also know that it's okay to release in whichever way it comes out. It's okay. But I will wrap myself in my comfort because I find my peace here. I find my place here. I am safe here. And nobody can come in between me and my safe space. So find your safe space. Be open with yourself, about yourself. No one's going to judge you. Those that judge are hiding something themselves. Those that allow you to be you, open, honest, messy, those are the true people that really also want to know what it's like to heal. They're waiting for an opportunity to open up. Be open. And I want to challenge you. If there's anybody that stumbles upon this recording, go through this journey. Be vulnerable. Be open. Allow yourself to free yourself from what is clogging or hogging your heart, your emotions. Go on this journey with me. We'll be vulnerable together, where I'll create a safe space for you. Going through it, I know what it's like when you're alone in it. But I also know what it's like when you open up and you accept help because you have people in your inner circle that are your safe space. I have my tribe, which took me years to find because I needed to learn how to trust. And I wouldn't change my tribe. Not now, not ever, not for the world. So you do the same. Find your tribe. Be vulnerable. Be open. Find your comfort. Find your peace. And know that it's okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I am Maxine C. Smith, the author of wisdom, the work of wisdom. Thank you. Until next time, have a lovely day.